name is Hans Gille from Netherlands. I'm here on behalf of SEN, and then within xShare, I'm leading work package 2, which is responsible for the creation of the standards and policy hub. It sounds all fun and games, but let's start off with the problem statement. Why do we actually need something like a hub? There's a lot of regulation going on, with the big obvious one is obviously the EHDS and all that entails with this implementing access, which is coming up. So we do need some sort of alignment in a complex ecosystem. We have a fragmented field. We have numerous SDOs also on this call. Some are local, national, European, or even worldwide, but often they have separate individual profiles on a lower level. The European Commission obviously seeks to advance alignment. They have policies like the EHDS in place, implementing acts, and they do sponsor a lot of projects and initiatives like the Joint Action, Extended EHR, the Support Center, which has recently been awarded, and I think for the last 2 decades, projects like xShare, xEHealth, Expand EH, which are all focused on making healthcare on interoperability something actually useful. However, it also sounds fun and games, but we do need a stable platform to foster that collaboration, because if everybody's developing their own standards, their own profiles, and their own way of working, then we still lack the true definition of interoperability. So we need to foster the collaboration, not only between SDOs, but also between industry and regulators, so everybody is on the same page, both technically, semantically, but also in terms of way of working. And we also need to provide access to those assets. How do you get interoperability working in your hospital, in your care institution, but also in your country? And how do you benefit from it as a user? So that's why you need interoperability assets and specifications, hopefully freely available. And by doing that, we try to develop the standard hub, which is a one-stop shop to operationalize the HDS. Next slide, please. So once again, a little bit deeper, why do we establish this kind of thing, the hub? We have a lot of benefits that we foresee for the HDS. Mostly focus obviously on the patient as the citizen as the final user, but also in terms of secondary use in the near future. So we need to have standards-based innovation to actually make use of the added value of health data, so you actually use it across the European Union. We as a patient or as a citizen are keen on when I can actually use my health data. This morning I was in the hospital with my wife, and I have to say that every time we come back there, it's a hassle to bring up your own information, and you have to provide your own social security number and birth date time after time, and you get asked a lot the same questions, let alone when you travel to a different country or to a different hospital. So the hub will help organizations such as hospitals and care providers to make that data available, not only in a format, but also in a format that you can use, take with you, and also share with new caregivers. And hospitals are obviously one part of the puzzle, because hospital makes part of EHR systems or other implementing stuff like portals. But the industry needs to realize systems that are conformant with the format. So it actually makes sense when you share it. It's all fun and games when you share the information across the line. But if the other person, on the other hand, can't understand what you're saying to them, then it doesn't really have added value. And at the same time, we need regulators to rely on mature specifications for legal reference. Obviously, the European Commission is in the end game for that with the European Health Data Space and implementing acts, but you do need something to help you operationalize it as a vendor, as a policymaker, and also as an industry player to actually make it worth your while and also see the benefits. Next slide, please. So that's the European Standards and Policy Hub, a neutral place, a collaborative place to evolve the EHRxF. It should be stressed that we, within xShare and within the hub, we don't develop our own assets. At least the majority of assets is already existing. We make reference to assets, for example, from HL7, IHE, SNOMED, and we just point people to the right direction. So we co-create, but we don't own the format. Specifications are maintained by the partners like HL7, IHE, etc. Tools and supporting materials are being developed within a project, for example, within xShare, and also afterwards in Gille and I2X. They all develop their own specification and tooling, and our aim is to bundle everything under the hub to make it one single point of reference that you don't need to look for the entire internet for the answers that you're looking for. And to make it a little bit easier, we also try to bundle those assets in packages, which you call X bundles, to make sure they actually have those aligned to the proper use case. For example, the patient summary or laboratory results, that you can just pick and choose which building blocks you like to reuse in a step-by-step way. And the last point, and I think Mark will touch upon that point later on in more detail, we developed a hub within xShare, but obviously this project has an end date by the end of this year, but it's meant to be long-lasting via EHRA, which will be taking over the governance and control of the hub and its corresponding assets. Next slide, please. As I said, the hub is not just for referencing material supporting tooling and specifications. We also try to be business-driven implementation. We want to help adoption sites, help actual hospitals, regulators to implement the format and reap the benefits of the EHDS. So we try to also build up new use cases, drive adoption, and at the same time gather new specifications and also drive the maturity of the specifications to make sure they're actually up to date and relevant for the use cases. I will dive into that in the later presentations of Sophia and Giorgio by means of the Expander registry and the business use case registry. Next slide, please. I think I've already mentioned a lot of stuff which is already on the slide, and I don't think I have a lot of time, but we try to have a lot of information publicly available. So obviously, you have the community of excellence, which are all here. It's a business use case repository that showcases what's possible with the format and also with the yellow button specifications that we are developing within xShare. The Expander registry are the tools and specifications that we offer, where we gathered from other sources. We have a help desk operationalized, so you can actually ask questions on the format and how we can help you. And to also make sure that we have a targeted group for consultation and collaboration with the industry and regulators forum, which is, I think, kind of well used across the entire European Union.